Hi, welcome back to my decorating series. We're going to the first room on the fifth floor today and getting to the craft room. I was a little intimidated getting back to a craft room, even though I'm also excited about it because the only room I'd really decorated in this game before I started this series was my craft room. And it was comprised of all the things that I loved, like every object that I thought was cute or that I thought fit the craft room theme or, kind of space. I just shoved in that room. And it was full and it was busy and it was probably a lot for most people, but I was in love with that room. And I knew that I had to take it all down when I was starting the series because I would eventually get back to it. But it was kind of painful doing it because it was a lot to get rid of, and it's okay. I'm glad we're getting back to the craft room because I'm gonna split the room into about 4 to maybe 6 different concepts. So instead of having everything art craft related in one room, I'm gonna divide it up into a variety of rooms. So a workshop, an or a painting studio. I think I'm going to do an outdoor space that might be a ceramic studio, but that's all future me. So I wanted to kind of keep the feel that my original craft room was. So eclectic stuff, full, busy, but also limit the things I was going to put in here. So there are objects that I'm probably going to repeat in some of those other spaces, and then some that I purposefully did not use in here because I wanted to make sure that they were kind of getting separated into those other spaces later. So, of course, I started with walls and floors and doors and windows. I knew I needed a desk in here. I knew I wanted lots of carpets in here. But I really needed to look through all the lists, and I do a lot of looking in this room because I want to make sure I don't miss anything, and I wanted to make sure that, things that could be crafty or crafted ended up in here, and I ended up making it a 12 by 12 because I needed more space. But as I looked through the lists, I realized there were some specific spaces I really wanted in here. So I wanted a kind of relaxation / seating area. I wanted a workspace. And then I wanted a couple of like display / storage areas in here because of the objects that I found that I thought would fit here best. So now that I have an idea of the spaces I want, I can start whittling down some of the stuff that I looked at. I looked at a lot of seating. I wanted it to be mismatched. I wanted it to be very cozy looking, I guess. Lived in, I feel like, is probably the best way to describe that. And then I could start blocking out where I wanted my workspace and then some of those other spaces. So I auditioned several desks. I really wanted to make sure I ended up with a lot of surfaces in here because I knew there were a lot of things to put in here. And I wanted to make sure that, I would have a lot of shelving and I would have a lot of random surfaces to be able to put stuff that was crafted before. Oh, and a little work sink. I will probably put a work sink in. I'm assuming I'm going to make like a painting studio or something like that. And yeah. So in the back here, I wanted to have this corner where the plushies are be kind of almost like a display, but also storage for things that could have been made by somebody. So we have several plushies, and including that Sugar Rush plushie display. And so I thought that would be cute in this corner over here. I really wish you could kind of squish them all together, like how a plushie pile would look, but can't do it, so we'll just make do with what we can do. And then I wanted to use these cardboard cutout thingies like it was a previous project, which in the game it was a project that we did for a quest. But what do you do with those things when you're done? You could throw them away, of course, but we have them, so why not, store them in a craft room like, oh, that was a project we did before. And a lot of the stuff that I picked to go in here looks like something that could have been made once upon a time and then end up back in the craft space as decoration, but also kind of in a storage way. And yeah, here I am just auditioning all kinds of surfaces. Not all desks are created the same. Some of them have more slots than others, and so I was really trying to maximize that. Oh, that fabric display. I know it. I'm probably going to make a sewing room. And I didn't want both of the fabric displays in here, but I really like that one. I think it's Encanto. I'm really in love with it. Again, bright colors, you know, kind of draped in a, you know, not careless way, but, you know, definitely not folded and neat. The other fabric display is much neater looking. And yeah, I wanted to kind of make sure I could move around the space. Not that it's super necessary, but I keep like moving around this room throughout the builds just to see where I can move. Oh yeah, I gave up on that magnolia window. It's gorgeous and I love it, but I think I ended up removing all the windows eventually. Just scrolling, endless scrolling, trying to find anything that could fit in here. Man, I auditioned a lot of stuff in this room, but I really didn't want to miss anything. Like, I was really worried because I was so in love with the room that I had originally made that I was like, please, don't miss anything, don't miss anything. Oh yeah, the little metal cat thing from Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, maybe I had a whim and did some welding at one point or another and made a metal sculpture, you know? Oh, and I'm trying to cram as many rugs in here. If we could layer the rugs, that would be so awesome, because I would have loved to have almost every square inch of floor, you know, just a little bit of the wooden floor peeking through. But we can't do that, so I had to make the maximize the rugs in here. Yeah, I wanted that one cockeyed. So that worked out. I didn't get every surface covered in rugs, but I did pretty good. Yep. Looking around. Still auditioning rugs. Trying to fill these last little spaces. And then, of course, the centering problem. It outweighed my desire to fill every square inch. And lighting. It was tough kind of picking some lights. Later, I changed the daylight, like I offset the time so that I can see what the lights look like in here. But I knew I wanted a lot of the lanterns. I didn't have those like little colorful ball lights before, so that was fun to get to put in here. Oh, and then I realized that there were more cardboard cutouts that were called something else. I think they were called cutouts instead of, I don't think the word cardboard was in them. So I ended up having to mess around with that corner a little bit to see if I could cram some other variety of those little cardboard, you know, crafted cardboard things in there. I did okay, but there was part of me that was like, I want to fill every square inch. If you could, I mean, if it was a real space, you could just cram them all in there, but that's not how footprints work in this game. And I ended up resisting putting a lot of art on the walls in here. I know that I'm going to have like a paint studio or an art space instead of a craft space. And I think I will end up putting a lot more paintings in that room. So even though the walls aren't completely full in here like my original space was, I think it still turns out okay, especially since the wallpaper I ended up using in here is very busy. There were several wallpapers I was really tempted by, but because I'm going to have more than one room, it kind of made me feel better about just picking one. I think my original space had at least 3 different wallpapers, but it's hard to remember now because I took that room down, over 3 months ago now. That's kind of weird to think about. And, oh yeah, those shelves. Oh, I'm so happy those shelves are in the game because I can start putting like little knickknacks and stuff up there. I love how full I got to make everything. And it's not so full that you can't move around in here. My old art space definitely was a challenge to maneuver through the room. And it did have storage rooms out of all 3 doors. So it was kind of tricky to get in and out of those spaces. But it was balanced out by how much I loved all the stuff in there. Oh yeah, this cat, I really wish you could like mirror flip objects, because I would have liked to have maybe put it up on that shelf up there where the tangled flower ended up, but turned the other way. But because I couldn't, I ended up putting it on the floor near the fireplace, which I think still works fine. And yeah, I'm still thinking about like fussing with some stuff, but I spent a lot of time on this room. So by the time I actually wrap it up today, I just was like, I can't keep, I mean, I think it was like 2 hours. It was a long time, or almost 2 hours. And that's the longest I have spent on any decorating since I've started this series. I have a feeling some of the outdoor spaces are going to take me a while, because as intimidated as I was to get back to this room, I am certainly intimidated by the outdoor spaces. So, you know, fingers crossed when we get to that point. But I liked the fact that the dividers I used in here look like something I could have made as well. Or whoever, you know. I guess we can talk in the first person like it's my craft room. Like I made those dividers. But the painted look, the, you know, the kind of, they don't look pristine. And I like the fact that they look like they were made and then just have been functional in addition to being pretty. Oh yeah, here we go. We're trying out the lighting. Ooh, all the different lanterns. Oh yes, and I got to use the new honeycomb light things. I had to stop myself from putting like 14 of them in here. Not really, but you know, like I thought about running them kind of across the room. I thought about doing like a circular kind of shape. But I ended up limiting it. And I got to use that big light from the Aladdin stuff in the seating area. I think it turned out really cute over there. And I wanted to use the other lanterns from Mulan. I thought a lot about these starlights, but I ended up taking them down. I feel like if we had like more than one kind of them, I would have liked it better. Like if they weren't identical, I would have maybe used one of those and then something else, like a moon shape or a circle or just something else. Like I just acquired them randomly. But oh yeah, I knew I wanted to use those bell like floral garland pieces. I ended up not using as many plants in here as I thought I might, but I think it's okay. There wasn't a ton of space that I liked the plants in when I started moving them around. But I do still audition them a lot. I thought about putting more of those little lanterns that sit on the floor with pastel on them. I kind of wish we had more varieties of those too. You know, maybe one day we'll have more than one kind of floor lantern or just a plain one. I think that would be cute. But yeah, this is me just, okay, I like these plants. Where could I stick them that I feel like would make sense? And then I was like, nope. Either it was in the way or it was kind of sticking out from the wall too much, or it looked like it might be in you know, someone's path when they're walking around the room. And I ended up opting to get rid of most of the plants. And yeah, those masks, kind of like I want them on display, but also they were a past project. That tapestry, maybe it was something that, you know, was a huge project, but eventually just ended up, you know, just kind of ended up being a decoration in here instead of another space. Oh, I almost forgot about that princess shelf divider thingy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot this. This is why I obsessively scrolled so much, because I was just like, oh my gosh, how could I miss that? Oh, and I got to use that giant chalkboard. And yeah, I almost wish, again, kind of like the cork board, like you could reskin it and have like writing on there, like the Nightmare Before Christmas Jack's chalkboard, but it's Christmassy and I didn't want that in here. So anyway, or like if there was more than one kind of pegboard, since we're looking at it right now, kind of. I put 2 of them because I wanted to maximize the storage, but also it's the same, which is fine. I mean, it's fine. We make do with what we've got, because it's either that or nothing, right? So we might as well make the best out of it. Oh, I love those shelves on the wall. I'm so glad I could put a bunch of stuff up there. Oh, and just going to Scrooge's shop and checking all of the crafting stations, including the time bending one, but nothing to add. And final scrolling, final looking, just making sure I didn't miss anything. I'm sure there's still stuff I missed, but it's okay. We can always come back and fix it later. Oh, I almost forgot. I had to do some memory frame stuff. I wanted to kind of mark the side doors, because the left and right rooms are going to be storage. One of them is going to be gems, and one of them is going to be the flowers. And so I was looking for which pictures could look like, you know, that. So I picked, I think it's the secret room in the castle, that one. And then I think it's a Princess and the Frog that I ended up going with for the flowers. Oh, and then I ended up going past it. Oh, I was so mad there. Yep, I just went past it. So I took the frame away and then put it back up so that I could go back and scroll. I really wish there was a better way to get to the picture you wanted. I don't like how it's done now, but it's okay. I got there eventually. It was just frustrating. All right, well, let's go in and check it out. It's nice to be on the 5th floor. We're more than a quarter of the way through the year, too. I don't know if it'll take me a year, but it'll probably take me longer. But it's nice. It's not the same, but I still really like how this turned out. It's kind of weird to have it be so spaced out, but it just means that I have more stuff to do in other spaces later, and I can make them look different from each other. Yeah, I really like this little cozy seating area. I love all the different seats that are over here. They're just some of my favorite seats in the game, so it's kind of fun to put them together even though they don't match. This little plushy corner turned out really cute, and honestly, I didn't notice until later, but the flower from Beauty and the Beast is clipped into the shelf above it, so I'll have to go in and fix that, but oh well. And yeah, I love that little storage nook behind the door dividers. I love that this looks like storage space, but also past crafted projects. There's a little work sink in here, some fabric, because sometimes you need, you know, fabric for a project, and then just a variety of desks for whatever you might be working on. Oh, that little tiny chair over there on the blue table. I was like, what if I was making miniatures? That's actually why I put the fairy godmother figurine from Scramble Coin in here, because I was like, well, what if you wanted to make some, you know, paint some figures for all of the tabletop gamers out there. But yeah, I really like the fact that it's different, even though, like, there's part of me that still wishes the other one existed, but I like that it's different than what I did before, and I like the fact that I've left some stuff out of this room so that I can play around with those pieces separately. And only one more room to go on this floor because, like I said before, there's going to be storage in 2 of the rooms up here. But yeah, another one checked off my list, and we'll just keep moving along. That's it for today's decorating adventure. If you liked this video, a thumbs up is a great way to let me know, and a subscription will keep you up to date on my latest shenanigans. If you want to hang out with me live, I stream on YouTube and Twitch on Thursday evenings and middays on Sunday. I hope you have a lovely day, night, time, wherever you are, whenever you are. And I'll see you next time.